Annan. You have the floor, sir, and apologies for mistake.
Madam President, Mr. Secretary General, Excellencies, friends. It's an incredible honor for me to stand here in this awe-inspiring room in front of this august assembly to pay tribute to my father. This is hallowed ground. It's the only place on the planet where the entire world comes together to address mankind's biggest challenges and harness our greatest opportunities. And this is hallowed ground because, in a lot of ways, it is home. The UN was home to my father for the better part of 45 years and has always felt like home to me and my family. What is home anyway? I've been reflecting on that question a lot lately. What is home? Who am I? Where am I from? And where am I going? A father's death has a distinct effect of prompting uncomfortable existential questions. I was born in Geneva to a Ghanaian father and a Nigerian mother. I'm also a British citizen and have lived many years of my life in London, Lagos, Accra, and New York. My sister Amma is a US citizen who's lived in New York, Lagos, Paris, and London. My stepmother Nan, Daddy's beloved wife of the past 35 years, is Swedish. My sister Nina is Swedish and now recently Swiss. Nina's lovely kids are Swedish, Dutch, and Swiss. Don't ask me how the World Cup works in their house. My wife is quarter Nigerian, quarter Ghanaian, quarter Indian, and a quarter English. It's a mini UN. As a result, I've always thought of myself as a global citizen. But recently, as I reflected on my father's remarkable life, it struck me that being a global citizen has nothing to do with the stamps on your passport or the addresses you've lived at or your one world miles balance. It's a responsibility far greater than the trappings of privilege that my father's career afforded me. I finally understand that being a global citizen is about completely embracing the common humanity of all of the world's citizens. It's about seeing potential in anyone and helping build a world where anything is possible for that someone. It's literally unfathomable that an obscure young man born in Kumasi, Ghana's second city, 19 years before Ghana's independence, and who had never left the country before he was 18, would rise to one day become the seventh Secretary General of the United Nations. And yet, that was my father's story. It's a story that became his worldview. If it was possible for him, why should stability, peace, security, justice, sustenance, education, opportunity, or success be impossible for anyone else? I finally understand that being a global citizen is about creating a world where everyone can find home. The home is not where you're from or where you live. Home is being seen, being accepted for who you are, being encouraged, being comforted, being fed, being clothed, having a roof over your head, being loved, being supported, and being given access to opportunity. One of my father's favorite quotes came from Edmund Burke. The only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for good men to do nothing. It was more than a quote, it was his code. It's why he always felt at home here, surrounded by and working with you, the dedicated men and women of the UN and the member states who shared that code. To quote Secretary General Antonio Guterres, Kofi Annan was the United Nations, and the United Nations was Kofi Annan. Your Excellency, thank you for your wonderful words in Accra. We were deeply moved. My father's race has ended, but the work continues. He believed this was the only work worth doing, creating a world where everyone can find home. He fervently believed in this institution, and he believed in each of you. If my father were here, he'd implore you to keep fighting the good fight, to beat back the forces of inequality, disease, injustice, and strife. And he'd implore me to do the same. My father's passing has made it absolutely clear that I need to follow in his footsteps, not as SG or as a politician, but as a humanitarian, doing my little bit wherever I am and however I can for humanity. We all can do our little bit for a fairer, more peaceful world. We can all make peace personal in honor of Daddy. Thank you.